what if Deku was a quinx? Quinx is a half human, half ghoul, and I'm going off information from the manga. So, let's go. So, basically, Deku, how he is born half human, half ghoul. Yes, Deku is born. He is born a half human, half ghoul. He is not transformed into a ghoul. He's literally born one. You're probably wondering that's not possible, but you are wrong. Now, the reason why is that is because, the one-eyed owl. You should take him, or the one-eyed king, I mean. Take him. He was born a half human because of his mom. His mom was basically his mom was human. Now, the reason how he was born was because his mom basically ate human meat for a few months straight so he can be born. So, yeah, that is how Deku is going to be born. Inko ate human meat for a few months, or a couple of months, I would say 8 months straight. And she got the nutrients that she needed. Well, she got Deku the nutrients that he needed to be born. So, yeah. Basically, a huge raid would go down in basically Deku's ward, which Deku's 5 years old now. And his mother managed to survive all those months of eating meat, although it took her a while to get all that nutrients out of her body. So a huge raid would go down as basically people would basically throw a lot of gas around the city. A lot of gas would drop around the city because they got word that a few triple S rated ghouls were living in this place. Triple S rated ghouls are extremely powerful ghouls who may or may not have Kakaju. So, yeah. If you don't know what a Kakaju is, it's basically an extremely powerful ability that you get from eating other ghouls. Now, basically, after dropping this gas, basically people would start to, get weakened. A lot of ghouls around the city would just drop to their knees and start coughing up blood because this gas is extremely potent to ghouls and it doesn't harm humans in any way. So after this gas was dropped, a lot of CCG agents would run out and start to kill people, as Deku's father, he would just basically activate his Kagane, which Deku's father's Kagane is Deku's father's Kagane is a Rinkaku. Actually, no. I'm gonna say it's Deku's father's Kagane is a Ukaku, which is basically like a sword Kagane. So, yeah. He would activate his Kagane, and he would just start to defend himself. And Deku, as Inko, would tell the two of them to run. And they won't attack her because she's human. So they would basically run off. Basically, Deku and Hasashi would run off, which Hasashi is rated triple S. Because Hasashi used to be the leader of a ghoul organization that was extremely powerful. But he left because he had Deku and Inko, which they didn't, take kindly to that. So he was always tracked and chased by the ghouls. So after, Hasashi makes it out of the gas, he would run into a special investigator, which is the highest rank of an investigator. He basically All Might stare as well, with Deku basically looking, he's like, All Might? And All Might would see that Deku is, extremely weakened, and he's like, a child, huh? And he's like, yo, Special Investigator A. I'm just gonna say A. I'm gonna use my CAC A. You're probably thinking that A is an extremely it was an extremely unthought of name, but A stands for the first letter in my name, which I don't want to tell you my name. So, yeah. Basically, A would rush towards... A is a black man, so, yeah. He's basically like an adult version of me. So, yeah. Basically, A would rush towards, the two of them, as All Might would rush past A, telling him to stay back and that he's got this. As All... Basically, hold on, guys. I'm coming. So, basically, All Might would rush past A, basically throwing a smash at, Hasashi. Hasashi would just jump back, and he's wondering, damn it, I've got a special investigator and the number one hero, which heroes still exist, because there are villains that still exist. Just because ghouls are in this world doesn't mean that heroes are not going to exist, because quirks still exist in this world. Now, since Deku is half human, he also possesses a quirk, which is an extremely powerful version of his mom's telekinesis, which he can lift multiple objects. Basically, if they weigh more, he can lift multiple objects with the maximum limit of the weight he can lift is around 300 pounds. So he can lift anything around 300 pounds. So, yeah. Now, basically, All Might rushes and Hasashi would, transform his Unkaku or something. his ukaku into a shield, which the ukaku is basically something by the shoulder blade. So yeah, so he transformed it into a shield, blocking All Might's punch. Which Deku's like, Dad, why is All Might attacking us? And Hasashi's like, because of what we are, and he would try to run away. So All Might would appear in front of him, and basically Hasashi has to block it with his shield. Now, basically, the special investigator rushed behind Hasashi, throwing a slash at his back and cutting Hasashi in the back, as basically Hasashi would turn around, basically backhanding this guy away. Now, Hasashi's like, okay, it's time to get serious, basically, as Hasashi would transform his body into its Kakuju state, as his entire body would get bulkier, as his Kagane would grow out of control, and he would look something like this. This is what Deku's Kakuju would look like also. I'm pretty sure like this is a version of Kaneki's Kakuju, but just roll with it. And this is what Deku would look like, but with black hair. And you're probably wondering what type of Kagane he would have. Deku has a Bikaku and a Kaku. He has 3 different types of Kagane, being a Bikaku and a Ukaku and a Kakuku. It's basically it's everything except the Rikaku. So everything on that list except the one with R, okay? Just in case you're a simp. Now, basically after, transforming into a Kakuju state, his Kagane would, basically go over Deku's body, as he now has Deku. Well, basically his Kagane is just holding Deku, so yeah. Now, basically he would, rush at All Might, throwing a punch, which I'm gonna say that Hasashi is, since he's triple S rated, I would say that he's as strong, if not stronger than All Might at 70%. So yeah. He's pretty strong. So the investigator, he would take his special, special investigators have this type of body armor, so our boy would transform. I'm pretty sure they get this body armor off of, Kakuju. Not Kakuju. Yeah, Kakuju. Kakuju are like I said, a special ability that ghouls have, so I'm pretty sure, the Kakuju are made out of, or the special investigator's armor is made out of, Kakuju. So his body, well, basically my CAC Ace, or yeah, I'm just gonna say his name is Ace. Basically him, he would not transform, but he would open his special Kagane case, as basically his body would start to be enveloped by this basically silver Kagane. Now, basically after the Kagane would basically take over his entire body, he is now in his, full power state, as I would say. And just in case you're a simp, let me look it up. Okay, simps. This is what the armor I'm talking about. It's called a Arata or something. But yeah, this is the armor that I'm talking about. So basically my character's body is enveloped by this, as basically he has now taken his Arata state. Now he would rush towards Hasashi, cutting him down, as Hasashi, jumps off. As Hasashi would be scaling up a building, with All Might jumping close behind, and the special investigator Ace basically just running up the stairs of the building. Now, after our boy Hasashi jumps on top of the building, he would begin to bleed out, which ghouls can't bleed out. Sorry, I'm just gonna say that Hasashi is he hasn't eaten any type of human meat in a few months, which ghouls can survive 3 to 6 months. I'm pretty sure it was 3 months. Ghouls can survive 3 months with eating just one human without going hungry. So Hasashi doesn't eat any humans. He's not a binge eater. Binge eaters are ghouls that eat every day. So yeah. After, getting All Might caught up to him, Hasashi's basically bleeding out because he can't regenerate fast enough to stop the bleeding. As he would basically tell All Might, if you're a true hero, basically don't kill my son, because he's only 5 years old and he has a way longer life than I have. With All Might just telling him, don't worry, I'll make sure that your son doesn't die, basically. As he walks over to Hasashi, and Hasashi basically de-transforms from his Kakuju state, which is this, and he would basically, surrender. With All Might basically putting, I would say a type of handcuffs that a type of handcuffs that inject the liquid version of that gas that weakens ghoul, and Hasashi would be weakened exponentially. So he would be brought into a, ghoul containment. As a 5-year-old Deku doesn't even understand what is happening, he is brought to a, ghoul containment thing as well. As basically Ace is like, we should have killed him. And he's like, we should have killed him. He's a cockatoo. Which All Might's like, I don't know what a cockatoo is, but no. Which Ace is like, a cockatoo is someone who ate a cockatoo is someone who ate their own kind, basically. With All Might, he's just, standing there, confused because he doesn't know anything about cockatoo. So, yeah. Now that is the backstory of how Deku got into the clutches of the CCG agents. And basically, heroes still exist because they're still people with quirks, which are humans. Humans with quirks still run around, meaning that the heroes deal with the villains, and the CCG agents deal with the ghouls. Now, after this huge collaboration event to take out a bunch of ghouls that lived in this ward, basically the city would look almost empty because of how many ghouls that they killed and captured. So, yeah. Now, after basically this raid, a lot of heroes would gain higher ranks for their help in this this endeavor, with Mount Lady gaining a higher rank. Because, actually, no, Mount Lady just appeared around, whatever, but basically heroes are getting higher ranks, with basically Endeavor gaining an extremely high rate. I would say that he even overtook All Might, gaining the #1 spot for the amount of ghoul kills that he got. With All Might having 0 ghoul kills and Endeavor having around 100 ghoul kills. So, yeah. Endeavor's basically bragging about how he finally overtook All Might and how All Might's just too soft. With All Might just looking over at Endeavor, he's like, whatever, Endeavor. And he'd be like, I don't kill. Well, he would say, I just don't kill, because All Might hasn't killed anybody. The only person All Might ever attempted to kill was All for One, so yeah. After defeating our boy Hasashi would basically be put in a cell to where basically they're asking him who the mother of this ghoul is. Which Hasashi is like, because they're asking about Deku, and they've seen that Deku is human, or has some type of human DNA within him, because when they scanned him, it said human instead of ghoul. Which they're like, And they're basically talking about how disgusting she is, basically the woman who would ever have a baby with a ghoul, calling her all manners of disgusting and basically bad names. Sasuke just sitting there with his eyes closed. Now he's basically thinking, he's, worried that All Might didn't keep his side of the promise, and that Deku's, really, he's in a bad spot. So All Might, he wouldn't, fight for, a type of custody over Deku, because, one day when he went to the CCG to check on him, he would have rushed past a bunch of, guards because he heard some people talking about how experiments were going on that one weird freak kid. So yeah, he would see that they were torturing him, and they would All Might would fight for some type of custody, because he did make a promise. He doesn't know who the mother is, which Inko's still alive, so yeah. Now, basically after going to court and talking about how he's human, and the CCG having to say that he is actually human, they would, the court they wouldn't release Deku. I mean, they would release him to All Might, but they would put some type of special collar on Deku's head or neck that injects, the ghoul gas, or the liquid version of ghoul gas, into Deku's body, which is basically something like, if enough was pumped into his body, then he would die, basically. So, yeah. Now, after being released from the, CCG's hole, Deku is basically, a little bit broken, because remember, they basically were experimented. By experimenting, I mean like chopping off entire fingers. That's how Deku's life was. That entire year that All Might was fighting for, the release of the young Midoriya, Deku's been tortured. So, yeah. Now, basically, Deku was brought to the house of All Might, as All Might didn't really do much, basically, hero work, because he was trying to get Deku. So, yeah. Now, All Might would introduce young Midoriya to his family, one woman being, I would say, some random, and the other woman being the other child in the family, who is in fact female, being the daughter of All Might, who we're just gonna call Toshinari, because that is all what I always call All Might's child in any what if that I have All Might have a kid in. So yeah, All Might asks is who Deku's mother is, which Deku would say that she is Inko Midoriya, as All Might would run his basically test, or like he would run the system. And he would get the information on Inko Midoriya as he would appear in her house, or basically at her house, with her, being startled. Now, All Might tells her that her kid, and he has him, and she's gonna have to, move to his ward, basically. With her, her moving to the ward, and, living in a compound, like, directly in the land that All Might owns, which is basically a gigantic mansion. So that is the life of, Deku. So, Deku lives with his mom inside of him, basically a compound that Deku, or All Might, owns. So, yeah. Now, here's where I'm starting to, get confused. Where I am, not you guys. But, because I was thinking of, having some type of CCG school, or some type of hero school, but I don't really know. I might have a combination of the two of them, but, yeah, I don't really know. I don't know if I should have, a combination of the school or not, but I'm just gonna pause it off here. Now, actually, I think that there would be a combination of the CCG Academy, because, there is an actual academy where they have to learn how to kill ghouls, and a bunch of other stuff. Now, I'm gonna say that a law was passed that heroes now have to basically hunt down ghouls during night, or at least get or capture or kill a ghoul basically every year, basically. So All Might captures his ghoul one or two every year. But yeah, a law was passed to where heroes have to do the job of CCG agents as well. So, yep. I'm just gonna have a school that is a combination of heroes or young kids learning how to kill ghouls, meaning that the age is gonna be around 18. It's gonna be like a college. So, yeah. So a lot of characters are going to be 18 when this happens, with Deku not being an exception. He will also be 18. So Deku, he will not awaken his Kagane for a while, because he's eating normal human food. Remember, Deku only needs those nutrients from a human flesh, because, I'm just going to say that his taste buds are a combination of human and ghoul, so the food won't taste like anything. It'll just taste like water, which water doesn't have a taste. But yeah, which Deku does have to, every year, or actually no, I'm gonna say every 8-9 months he has to eat some type of human flesh, because he doesn't get enough nutrients from the human food that he eats. So yeah. Which he has to eat a lot of human food just to get enough nutrients for 3 months. So All Might, does go to basically the CCG, which the CCG handles Mori's, which he gets basically a pound of meat, which he would feed to Deku every 9 months. But yeah. Now, basically, we're gonna have a time skip, and Deku is 18 now. He is basically living with All Might and his daughter, as I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you for watching, and yeah. So, I'm going to get into my schedule. I'm pretty sure I didn't really explain that at the beginning of the video, but if you guys can get this video to 400 likes, then I will post again as soon as I can. But if you can't get this video to 400 likes, I will post on Friday, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'll post another video on Friday. So if you can't get this video to 500 likes, or not 500, if you can't get this video to 400 likes by 12, or I would say by 5 p.m. tomorrow, I don't really, 5 p.m. tomorrow, Minnesota time, then, yeah. Basically, thank you for watching. My schedule is different now, so if you guys can't get this video to 400 likes, then I won't be posting for a while. That's all you guys need to know. Thank you for watching. My name's What If Logic, out. This is my second Tokyo Ghoul What If, so sorry if it's bad. This is a Tokyo Ghoul X My Hero What If, so sorry if it's bad. Second Ghoul What If ever. And this is a new concept to me. I'm going to complete the entire series before I restart it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Have a nice day.